Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into the trade setup. I'm Neeraj Shah. It's Monday morning. It's the start of the earnings season week, and the Asian markets are doing okay, despite the fact that the US markets probably didn't have the greatest of days. So the US market performance will first come up on your screen. A flattish kind of a move on the Nasdaq, the Dow down about 0.5%, and this morning the futures for the US markets are also trading okay, so no big shakes either direction. So that's the key thing. Yes, yields would have stayed above 4%, and that is, you could argue, a bit of a worry. Will come up on your screen 4.07. So they stayed about 4% for the last 5 days now. Volatility inches up slightly. Dollar index steady as she goes. The rupee, in fact, is a crucial mark of 83 as well. The SGX or the gift nifty, excuse me. I'll get some time getting used to calling it the gift nifty. It trades with a cut of 0.12%, so fairly flattish. No big changes there. Now, we've been all the time, right? We remind people to trade the market, not the forecast. Markets look vary at the higher levels. Quant indicators, in fact, indicate some downsides more than upside. The risk reward skewed in favor of the downsides. That's the point I'm trying to make. But the FI flows are strong. As per MK, 21,943 crores of inflows, including bulk deals, till the 8th of this month from FPIs, which remains a key comfort for the bulls for sure. I do believe tech results midweek will drive the large cap sentiment, but the delivery might be mixed because we might have a weak reportage from TCS, a weak reportage maybe from Wipro, but a strong reportage from HCL Tech. So could be interesting. And don't rule out theme-specific winners, similar, to the smart meter plays from last week. You guys remember how Genius Power, HPL Power, Tata Power all bagged these smart meter contracts. Some of the ancillaries like Shivalik Bimetal, permanent magnets also did really well, and that became a theme of sorts. So yeah, don't rule out theme specific plays independent of what the market would do. Now, like I said, results will be mixed from IT. It's a results week and starts from tomorrow, not too much today. Even tomorrow, just a couple of small companies really like Elecon or Plasti Blends. But Wednesday, the big one, post market hours, we'll see TCS and HCL Tech as well as Anand Rathi Wealth, but TCS and HCL Tech, the big ones. Thursday, we'll have Wipro too adding to the mix, but there is also be a Federal Bank, Angel One, Tata Metallics. All of these are very actively traded counters, and therefore, in the truest sense, the earnings season begins from Wednesday evening, and Thursday morning is when the reaction starts. So we're in the thick of the earnings yet again, maybe longer trade setups as well. So be that as it may, it's an interesting one. And Friday, of course, we have important set of numbers in JSW, Bandhan Bank, even CCL products, wherein because of coffee prices being fairly volatile, their margins don't get impacted, but their turnover does. And therefore, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So, to watch out for all of these results. Flows continue to be positive, 790 crores yet again, like I said, 21,000 in total, so not bad. And some stocks that I'll monitor because of the losses over the last 5 days. So Astral has lost 10% in the last 5 days, and iShares has lost 11% in the last 5 days. Now, iShares, the reasons are known. Astral, I don't know if the reasons are because one of the key managerial personnel sold off some of the shares, but big sharp downtick ahead of the earnings season reportage beginning. Atul saw some downtick. Trend has seen some downticks despite Zudio's very strong performance, and UPL has seen some downtick. There I can understand because the results expectations are very, very wobbly. So do watch out for all of these. Now, stocks in news. Reliance Industries. The pre-IPO process for begins for Reliance Finance maybe as well, Geo Finance. But there's also developments that the conglomerate will reduce the equity share capital held by shareholders in Reliance Retail. The consideration will be paid is 1,362 per share. Now, this is a sharp contrast to what the private market valuations were, but well, they've gotten two independent valuers to value the company per se as well. Just shows the risk the private markets. But Reliance therefore becomes in focus. Brokerages, I read one or two notes that have come out recently, and one that came in on Friday, if I'm not wrong. Constructive. Let's wait and watch if Reliance actually reacts negatively as well. Uh, we'll wait and watch. Then Tata Motors came out of the release, wholesales. And on the back of that release, JP Morgan is counted the neutral rating. The target price has been raised to 540. They say JLR wholesales are in line. The stock already appears to be baking in the optimistic outcomes. JLR reported Q1 wholesales, ex-China JV, up 30% YOY, flattish QOQ, and guided to first quarter free cash flow ahead of 400 million pounds. Well, now finally they seeing those free cash flow numbers coming in, and that could be constructive for investors maybe. Retail grew very sharply, but the order book declined to 185K. Tata Motors has got serious competition up its sleeve as well, with everybody else ramping up. So it'll be interesting to see how Tata Motors does uh, ahead, because JLR, like I said, has got some serious competition there. But uh, should be interesting the times ahead. CLS, in fact, I think if I'm not wrong, I read that Note has an upgrade there. They believe the numbers are very strong. So, and the numbers are strong. JP Morgan is saying that some of it is in the price. Let's see how it opens. SULA Vineyards, the numbers seem okay, and maybe the stock reacts positively. Own brand sales went up 24%, led by premiumization. Company estimates revenues to grow about 17%. Wine tourism business grew 11% to 11.4 crore, and 70% jump in visitor numbers to the domain Sula Winery near Bengaluru. It's turning out to be a combination business. Of course, wine sales remain the premier ones for Sula, but the tourism business is growing, and that is not to be scoffed at. So let's see how this does. I suspect could start off mildly positively. What I suspect will definitely have a weak start is Nika. The consolidated Q1 revenue growth, they have said it's a Q1 update, will be in mid 20s. Now, put this into perspective: 34% in quarter four, 41% in quarter one FY23, 36% as an aggregate for FY23, and now it will grow in mid 20s. So, substantial reduction from the average of FY23 and way lower than Q1 FY23. I think the blame can be laid on the fashion vertical. It's not a very large, I mean, it's large, not as large as the other one, but it grew in low to mid teens versus growing 30% in FY23. Now that's a sharp reduction. But the management says business witnessed relative resilience versus the overall category and saw gradual improvement in order volume with sustained AOE YOY. Well, let's see. I suspect Nika could react negatively. In fact, Macquarie is an underperform rating. Post this, the target price may be about 19% lower, something like that. NSDL is filed for IPO papers and DRHP, and that may have a positive impact on CDSL and BSE, so watch out for those. ITC, now, in order to respond to the news or the stories around the demerger of the hotel business, ITC gave out a release. Now, in the entire release, the point that stood out for me for ITC was this. They say that they are committed to focus on sweating existing assets, create additional revenue streams, and more importantly, pursuing alternate structures to enhance growth and value. So, while the official status is no comment, this line was interesting. Let's see if ITC sees some reactions there. Bajaj Auto, which has gained a bit after the launch of Triumph, says it will ramp up production of Triumph 400s due to overwhelming response. The bookings for the Speed 400 and Scrambler 400X have crossed the 10,000 mark. Bajaj Triumph had announced an inaugural price of 2.23 lakhs for the first 10,000 units. So that's done. The Triumph 400s at present have an installed production capacity of 5,000 units per month. Well, you know, it's an interesting one. Eicher has corrected 11%, Hero has gained 9%, Bajaj has gained some ground as well. Can that continue? Divergent performance continue this week remains to be seen. For anybody who wants to understand this from a biking enthusiast's perspective, PQ Prime has this morning. It'll be published. It's an article from a biking enthusiast of sorts and somebody who's been in this field reporting as well for a while. I think it'll be an interesting read to understand what goes not just behind the numbers, but behind the cult that Royal Enfield has created, and and how will these guys, or what is it that these guys could be doing. I think it's an interesting read, gives some perspective for the slightly longer term into Royal Enfield and why is it that it has got this huge, humongous 90% market share. Uh, and then you got to think about whether that can change. So please try and read that article. It'll be published sometime during the morning today, so you can log on and read it during the day. Suzlon is in focus. It will raise funds up to the tune of 2,000 crores, mix of debt and equity. So let's wait and watch what happens here. Now, the interesting one. The news came out during market hours. Karnataka state excise increase. Now, I've got the analysis. One from Dollar Capital. They say that Karnataka accounts for 8 to 10% for United Spirits and 11 to 12% for Radico and UBL of their pan-India volumes. Keep in mind, the more expensive one impact is on hard liquor, not on beer as much. But beer also prices go up. But there are some people who say that people might actually switch from hard liquor to beer because beer will be cheaper. Now, maybe therefore United Breweries will not get impacted that much. But United Spirits, which has already seen a bit of a reaction, uh, it's interesting what could happen there. Now, Macquarie believes it's an underperform, retaining a target price of 800, which is about a 23% downside. Macquarie believes that additional excise duty accounts for 70 to 80% of the price per bottle, and the tax hike would drive a 14 to 14% hike in the end level consumer prices. They believe brands would look to revisit pricing of their brands in order to offset the hit for the consumer, and the restructure could moderate the final price to not 14, 15, but maybe 12, 13. However, is there a 12 to 13% hit? Yes. Is there a commensurate 12 to 13% decline in sales? I don't think so. Yes, there could be a decline. We don't know how much it will happen, but if there is a change in the preference mix, then yes, there could be a reaction, and which is probably the basis on which Macquarie is saying that uh, there could be a downside. So watch out for United Spirits today. Watch out for UBL and Radico Khaitan as well, and watch out for Titan as well. Morgan Stanley says that they've downgraded the stock to an equal weight, a target price of 3207. They say that 2Q will be marked by an inauspicious buying period for jewelry due to Adhik Mas, and 3Q will account for a lower share of weddings, with Pitru Paksh commencing on September 29th and ending on October 14th. Viewers, you would remember we spoke about this on Friday or Monday that Q1 was just so strong. It's unlikely that Q2 and Q3 as well will be as strong. There has been a bit of a rally. Please be careful if you are leveraged long on Titan, because yes, the commentary for Q2 and Q3 will certainly not be as strong as Q1 has been. So just be mindful of that. There is also a positive report on EXIDE, by the way. I forgotten to give the graphics, I think, but watch out for that stock too. Oh yeah, I have. Okay, JP Morgan on EXIDE, overweight, target price of 275. The third line is important, viewers. They say OEMs are in discussions with EXIDE for future cell supplies, and a bull scenario. Sorry, it's not scenario. Scenario analysis indicates 50% potential upside in a bull case for EXIDE. Certainly very overweight. Keep in mind, the stock has had a bit of a run already, so that's to be kept in mind. So be mindful of that. Then, conversations today at Talking Point. Pratik Agarwal joins in at 10 a.m. to talk about his thoughts on markets and how to do stock picking in the current scenario. We also get you a global view from Vikash Prasad. He sits out of Singapore. And looks at India and the other emerging markets, and he says India is the best market to invest in. That interview, I think, will play out at 12 p.m. You might want to tune in for that. Other trade talk conversations, of course, happening at 11 and 3:15. And viewers, for all of you who want to have a complete 360-degree analysis on how big is the India opportunity, how to bet, where to bet, and how to build a conviction to really make it big in terms of big bets, I think 13th July is the date for subscribers or viewers who can come in, because we can't accommodate everybody, of course. At the BKC Trident, you would have already put in the request, so I think there'll be some bit of the first come first serve a piece there. But fear not, for anybody who's outside Mumbai and can't travel, we'll be getting you these conversations on BQ Prime on Thursday and through the week and the weekend as well, and the following week, a set of four very interesting panels that we bring on Thursday, and I think it will be a really important event and a really important set of conversations to hear. So do stay tuned for details on BQ Prime for the India Opportunity Conclave.
How do you make the most of the India opportunity as an investor? For that answer, all roads lead to BKC in Mumbai on the 13th of July. 3 big money managers describe the size of this opportunity. 2 of the largest mutual fund CIOs then tell you about the mega trends that they're investing in. Will the current capex cycle be similar to the one between 2003 and 2008? We get that answer from Sanjeev Sharma of ABB in a conversation with veteran investor Madhusudan Kela. And then we rounded off with 2 of the most prominent investing names talking about how to make the large bets and make it really big. All of this and more at the Trident Hotel in BKC on the 13th of July. Catch the action live on BQ Prime and NDTV.